Good evening, guys. Everybody, welcome to Jtwes Monday Night Live with Joey and Lino. And y'all guys know the spiel. Right now, it's
Yeah.
probably some commercials. As soon as the commercial's over with and you hear us talking, give us a thumbs up and we'll know we're audio good and everything else is good. Thank you all for tuning in again. Appreciate this. Really been enjoying these lives. Not trying to cheap out on making videos or anything. It's just nice to have interaction with the guys and the ladies
I
that,
agree.
that watch the videos. So it's been fun.
Mark Young is on.
Hey, Mark.
Says good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Cajun Homestead's on. Good evening, JT West.
Cajun Homestead.
Spurs Mountain.
I did look at your YouTube channel, Cajun Homestead.
Spurs Mountain is on.
Hey, Spurs Mountain.
Irvin is on.
Hey, Irvin.
Nick Blanton.
Nick Blanton. Nick, man, that screen worked perfect.
Yes, it did. Joey Neal's on.
Hey, Joey. I hope you got my email back.
And Orbra is
Hey,
on.
Orbra. Orbra at Pilot Mountain.
Is that where they're from?
Yeah.
Pilot Mountain? I
yeah.
couldn't remember.
He's the one who came late to Fly Day.
So that's not in Virginia, right?
Well, he's actually in Virginia.
Oh, okay. I
He's
thought
just on the other side of it.
I was thinking it was Virginia. James Kelly's on from Colorado.
James Kelly, Colorado. We know it's probably cool there.
William May's on.
Hey,
Good
William.
evening. Timbo says howdy neighbor.
Hey, Timbo.
And the Cajun Homestead said awesome, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And Paul Ford's on. It says hey y'all.
Hey, Paul.
Farm Boy 59 is on.
Farm Boy 59. That's owns this chair.
Oh,
Brian.
Brian. He says good evening from Walnut Cove. And hey says hey.
Hey. Hey, hey.
Really, that's what it is. Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Johnny Edgerton's on.
Hey, Johnny. Johnny, he, what I was saying is he was consistent with the way he was throwing it, which is good.
James Pavliska's on.
Hey, James.
Hello from South Texas.
South Texas. He was on last week, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, South Texas, that's down near the border, so it's
Yeah.
going to be warmer there usually. I know they get cold snaps, but it's usually warmer there. Bama Tractor's on.
Bama Tractor.
Says, good evening, folks.
Every time I see Bama Tractor, I think of Bahama
Oh, yeah, Bahama.
over here.
Which other people would say Bahama because it's
Yeah.
spelled like Bahamas.
Yeah.
But everybody around here says Bahama.
Bahama.
Yeah. And Mom says hi, Joey and Lino.
Hey, Eva.
And I got to give a shout out to my dad. Hopefully he's watching, Frankie. My dad's name is Frankie. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Frankie.
Happy birthday, Dad. Love you. And we get to go see them in just a few weeks,
Yep.
or 2 weeks from Thursday for Thanksgiving. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Spending time in, what is
get
it?
to see
Northern Virginia is where they live.
Get to see Bart.
Oh, yeah, Bart will be there. He won't be on the live because he never gets to join on Monday.
Yeah, he's. Sometimes he can if he happens to be off, but I
Yeah.
don't know if he's off or not.
Yeah.
Or if he gets into Raleigh in time.
Terry Hayes is on.
Hey, Terry.
Says, hey, y'all, from Caneyville, Kentucky.
Caneyville, Kentucky.
Tim Peters is on.
Hey, Tim. I was trying to remember if I rode through Kentucky on the way to Ohio, but I didn't. It was West Virginia. Out of West Virginia, I'm pretty sure I went right into Ohio from West Virginia.
Tim Peters says, I got to thinking okra is so good.
Okra.
It is good.
Yeah.
Johnny Williamson's on.
Hey, Johnny.
Good evening from Laurel, Delaware.
Laurel, Delaware.
And
What is it Delaware is famous for?
our president.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking it was something else, like back in creating the country, kind of famous.
I don't know.
Bells? No, I don't know.
No, that's
I'll figure it
Philadelphia.
out. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's an old state.
Yeah, it is. New England.
Yeah.
Craig Cundiff is on.
Hey, Craig.
Good evening from Southeast Michigan. Let's go Red Wings.
Southeast Michigan.
Yeah.
Red Wings. I guess that's a college football, probably.
I'm guessing. Farmall 77's on.
Farmall 77.
Says, hey guys.
I got a 76 model.
And Kurt T is on.
Kurt T.
Good evening from Southeast Louisiana. Just coming on. Hope y'all have a great evening.
You know, we have quite a few people from Louisiana.
I know. Yeah, I like it.
That's pretty good.
Dennis Morgan's on. It says, hey everybody.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah, the Louisiana, you know, there's so
Louisiana,
much farming.
Texas, Alabama.
Well, a bunch of states.
Well, yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah, so it's nice to talk to people from other states. Oh, Craig says Detroit Red Wings hockey.
Ah, hockey.
National Hockey League. And Jeff Strange is on.
Hey, Jeff.
Good evening. Hope y'all are doing well. Go Dogs, LOL. So I'm guessing that's Georgia.
Probably.
Yeah, because I know some dog fans.
Guys, you'll have to forgive us. We're unfortunately, or I say unfortunately, but I don't follow hardly any sports. Leno loves having a good excuse to make chips. And
yeah, we
salsa.
always have a Super Bowl party, and I hadn't watched one game in the whole year.
We don't even know who's really playing half the time.
We just, and then I'm at church on Sunday nights for Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm like, okay, come on, because I've got like dip in the crock pot, and you know, like that's our snack food Thanksgiving. Is Super Bowl.
I really didn't even follow NASCAR. This year is probably the least year I may have watched one race 3/4 of the way through, and I don't even remember which race that was. Maybe it was Daytona. I don't know. I really didn't follow NASCAR that much this year.
Butterfly Farms is on.
Hey, Butterfly Farms.
Good evening. Watching in the shop, working on new to me Super C.
Yep, we got some work. Yeah, I hope you guys kind of like working videos this winter, because you know, as far as any actual tractor work, unless it snows and I make a video of pushing snow around, we got to work on that Super A, and I got to work on my Dodge truck. I got the infamous Hemi Tick, which is no more than just the exhaust manifold has broken some bolts and they're warped, and so that tick is an exhaust leak that generally seals up within the first minute of running the engine. It swells up the gasket and seals up the tick, but to me it's just awful embarrassing to go out in your truck and crank it up and it's tick 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 tick. So
yeah.
I can't take it. I try to have my stuff running good. I know my tractor may not look the best tractor, but she sure runs good. A little loud on the bearings, but not the bearings in the engine, but the bearings in the drivetrain. But so got the truck to work on and tractor to work on, so we're probably going to have plenty of working on videos.
Nick Blanton says Delaware was the first state.
I knew it was something, Nick. I mean, you know, I just see us North Carolina boys, we didn't quite get all that history lesson.
Yeah, they're the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution.
Okay, I knew it was something
Which,
like that.
and you know, I'm pretty decent about history, but I just couldn't remember Delaware today.
I thought it was. I knew something about Delaware in the start of the Union and or the whole deal.
Yeah. 139 MG, that's Mark.
130. Hey, Mark.
He says, hey, y'all, greetings from Wilmington. Hey, Mark. Farmall 77 says, my 140 is a 74, my H is a 48.
Oh, wow.
That's an old, I mean, is that
Farmall
a year?
H. H is a tricycle tractor.
But he says it's a 48, like from a...
1948?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's old. Yeah, it is, but it's still a very usable
Yeah, that's
tractor.
good.
Yeah.
You could never have, oh, my car's a 48.
The only time I'd say you start getting to the unusable part is when they got steel wheels. It'd be a little rough ride.
Yeah. William May says this is far better than Monday Night Football.
Well, thank you, William May.
Thanks, William. I forgot about Monday Night Football.
Any of you eagle eyes, and you may can't see it real good. Hopefully you can. I will say this, guys. I wished I knew a way that I could stream my live stream in 1080 but for some reason or another on an iPhone and the YouTube app, I cannot get it to stream above 720. So I wished it was a little bit clearer for you. But we got us a new little prop for Monday Night Live. Maybe y'all can see it. The Quaker Steak can.
Yeah, it's hard to see on the
Buddy
video.
of mine got me that. He had some the other day, and it's actually full of oil. Never been opened. So I gave one to Will. Will loves anything antique, and so I gave one to Will, and we put this one up here.
Cajun Homestead says, I have plenty of IH stuff to work on this winter.
Oh, man.
And winter is a good time to do projects because you don't have anything else pressing you know.
It is.
Dennis Morgan says, Ford won championship. Blaney.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that Blaney won, which I kind of liked his dad when he was driving in the early 2000s. And he may have came close to winning one race, but I don't ever remember him, Dave Blaney, winning a race. But I kind of liked his dad. He drove pretty good.
Kyle T is on, says hello.
Hey, Kyle T.
Hey, Kyle. Oh, my sister's on, Nastasha's on. Says hello, my beautiful family.
Hey, Sweet Pea.
Yeah, we call her Sweet Pea.
She's the one, guys, that
Made
crocheted this. Somebody was asking about it the other day, and what was it that Sweet Pea said?
She had to purchase that pattern, so she can't really share it.
Okay.
But she's going to look to see if she's got enough material just to make another one for someone who was interested.
Y'all forgive me, but whoever emailed me about that, I may have forgot to email you back. I think I did, Lena.
Yeah, she says she's working on one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think whoever emailed me, email me again, whoever it was, because I think I forgot to email it back.
You can't just look in your emails?
I probably can.
Okay. Let's see. William May said you're welcome, because he said it's better than Monday Night Football. Nick Blanton says, talk about steel wheels. We were running an original Waterloo boy this past weekend.
That's right. Nick had a big old tractor show. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, Mark Young says, I remember those metal Quaker State oil cans very well.
I do, and I actually remember, buying me a brand new can puncher. I thought I was in business. I didn't have to take the butcher knife no more and put it in there and twist it sideways and pour the oil. I had got me a can puncher.
And it was the Cajun Homestead who was the one who was asking about the
Okay.
pattern.
All right.
Yeah, so she's
gonna check
she's
on that
working
for
on
you.
that one.
I ain't gonna say, guys, I get a ton of emails from subscribers. I don't want to make like I do. I do get quite a few, but sometimes just between, it's not that I get so many that I forget about you guys. It's just that and work and
You just
everything else.
pulled
It's
different-
not you
yeah.
guys is the reason why I forget. But I enjoy my emails. And yeah, Lena always says one day, Lord willing, if the channel grows a whole lot, she said, well, you might not like it if you get, thousands of emails. I said, well, we'll just have to cross that bridge then.
Yeah.
We'll worry about it then. That'd be a good problem to have.
Scott's Small Farming and Things is
Hey,
on.
Scott.
Says howdy, Jtwes. And Joey Neal says I still have the metal spout that goes in those metal cans.
Yeah, I wished I had the ones we had. I'm sure, just like a lot of the things, when they become obsolete, we don't think about their antiquest value at the time. But now it's like, man, I wish I still had my oil spout. And I bet you that oil's probably still good in the can. I have heard that it doesn't go bad, doesn't lose its viscosity or anything. But not that I'm going to use it. I'm not going to use it, but I've heard it's probably still good.
Mark Young says I used to keep an old can opener in the tractor shed just to open those with.
Oh yeah.
Lori Ryan is on.
Hey,
Hello,
Lori.
Lori. Hello from MO. Is that Missouri?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Small Farming says the good old days.
Yeah, Scott.
Yeah, Craig Cundiff is on too. He says I still have a couple of those can puncher spouts hanging up in my barn. And Scott says it doesn't lose its viscosity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And Scott, the fact that you just came on just kind of triggered my memory here, or triggered my thoughts. Y'all keep in mind, soybean farmer, keep them in your prayers. It's Scott's cousin, and he's in a good battle for life. So y'all keep him in your thoughts and prayers too. I just wanted to mention that because I do think about him from time to time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people going through a lot right now. And
Oh, my
it
goodness,
does make me
yes.
sad thinking about the holidays coming up too.
Yeah.
You know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and this year will be a lot different for a lot of people.
Yeah, it will be.
And Scott says thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, this nut! We should do more for soybean farmers, Scott. That's not nearly enough. But the right prayer will be plenty.
Yeah. And our pastor had surgery today.
Yes, he did.
And it went very well.
Yeah.
So that's answered prayers.
I offered my tools, but somehow I wasn't good enough.
Yeah. He was offering a drill. He was getting some screw, I think, out of his neck.
Yeah.
And Joey offered up his DeWalt. They passed, of course. Jack Graham is on.
Hey, Jack.
He says, evening, folks. Great to see you. Everyone looking warm and comfortable. Hope the weather's agreeable back that way.
All right, we got to guess Jack time. So it's 8 o'clock here.
So he'll be.
Five.
Is it 4 hours?
5, 6, 7, 8. No, 3.
3 hours.
Yes.
So it's
5 o'clock. Jack said he's right around
I
supper
know.
time.
Yeah, Jack will have to get off to eat dinner, which that's okay. We understand that. Shane Jeans is on.
Hey, Shane. Did you say Shane?
Shane.
Okay.
And Scott says that he's out and about running his 40-20 for a short time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that
I
is
get that
good.
fresh air.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy when he posts a little bit of a video and stuff, and so.
And yeah, and Jack, to answer your question about the weather, it's been beautiful. Just like set in the 70s, and it'll be like that till Wednesday, I think.
Oh, wow. You know, Jack, I got to see Alaska on a missionary trip a couple years ago. Unfortunately, I had to take that video down because I used some audio that Apple said was royalty free, but YouTube said it wasn't. Long story short, I'd have to recreate the video from the footage I have. I just never have. I should do it though. But I got to see Alaska. My point in saying that was the big redwood trees in Washington State is one of my things I would love to see.
And Kyle T's on. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
He says, do you have any pollination problems with Jimmy Red?
Hadn't had any. Cousin Scott mentioned something about his Hastings. He actually got some Hastings seed from me, and he had kind of the same deal I did. I guess it was this year or last year. I don't remember. Scott will have to correct me on it. But some of them didn't pollinate then. I don't get why it wouldn't. Maybe y'all guys would have some ideas why it wouldn't. I know I chalk mine up to some extremely dry weather at the time of pollination, and that's what I chalk mine up to. But but like I said, Cousin Scott may have a better idea. But he mentioned it, and I actually meant to call him about it and see what he thought it was. But it seemed to do okay this year, the seed, and that I used some of the seed that was not of the ones that pollinated that good. So I don't know.
Will Jones is on.
Hello, William.
Where can I get one of those fancy shirts?
William's trying to start a fight.
Yeah, he is. Because that is the most unfavorable shirt I've ever seen in my life. And I actually did a Facebook poll because it was so awful, and I was trying to get other people to say how bad it was so that he wouldn't wear it.
There's nothing wrong with this shirt.
It's not so bad with the vest on, but by itself, it's terrible. I just can't deal with it.
Yeah, I put it on tonight, and I told Lena, she said, you are not going to wear that shirt.
He walked out of our bedroom. I said, no.
I said, yeah, I'm going to start a fight on YouTube Live. Thanks, Will. We know you're your mama's favorite anyway.
Dennis Morgan says he still has the steel wheels on the old Farmall H.
Oh, wow.
When
okay.
bush hog all small mesquite and cactus thorns.
I guess if you own some pretty well.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a flat.
Yeah, well, that's the one you need when you're going through briars and everything. Just tear it up.
Yeah. Jack Graham has a question about the heater we're using. Have not seen one quite like that.
Can you see that heater in the?
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. It's
Jack,
a propane tank on bottom.
Yeah, it's just a Amazon. Oh, speaking of Amazon, guys, if a car pulls up, it's Amazon.
Yeah, I might have to run and get a package.
Right before the live went live, I had a text that said Amazon 10 stops away. But anyway, Jack, it's just an Amazon burner that you attach to the top of a 20-pound cylinder. And yeah, like my leg right here is actually getting pretty hot. I was getting ready to kind of reach off a camera and kind of turn that thing down a little bit.
And it's really not cold enough for that heater.
Well, I'm cold
Joey's
natured.
he's being chilly today.
Well.
Just because I'm glad it's not it was like 25 the other morning.
Yeah, it was pretty cold.
So this, I don't know, it might be 60 out here right now. So I can take that. Scott's Small Farming said this year 3 years only, and yes, no rain.
When he's 3 years only?
Yeah, I guess talking about maybe the pollination thing.
Well, I would say, like, and this is, y'all tell me if I'm wrong here. Let's say my Hastings didn't pollinate that great, and I had half of it didn't even have an ear on it, and some of it did. Well, the some it did have an ear, I would think would still be good seed corn because it did obviously pollinate and went through the whole cycle and produced a ear and a corn. But, I mean, I could be wrong, but I would think as long as you pulled a good ear of corn, it would still have the chance the next year to do as good or better, maybe, hopefully.
Let's see. Hay says, what kind of vest is that?
Hey, it's just a Carhartt. I got it, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
It's pretty old.
A lot of my clothes in my closet are pretty old. I do buy some Wrangler jeans, which that's not Leno's favorite either. But I do buy some of them because you wear them out quite often. But my shirts and jackets and stuff, man, as my boys are getting bigger, they're starting to explore Dad's closet a little more. Sammy just took one of my church jackets the other day. And I'm sure he's trying to get a hold of some boots too.
Yeah, Will's coming over to take little items.
Yeah.
Let's see. Welch Farms is on.
Hey, Welch Farms.
Just got in from the greenhouse, had problems.
Oh, man.
I know, I'm sorry.
Well, guy that goes to church with us, he's got tomatoes in greenhouses.
Nikki Bowers is on. Hey,
Nikki.
From Tennessee. Let's see. Terry Hayes, what size is your tractor shed, and is it boxed in with treated lumber?
Well, Terry, it is it's 24 deep, 36 wide, 12-foot bays, and it was paid for 100% by State Farm. So we had this tractor shed with the same footprint, old.
Very old.
It was built in the 40s. It had white oak boards that wide. I mean, 12 inches, 14 inches wide white oak boards. Long story short, one of those thunderstorms with the downforce winds came, lifted the shed completely out of the ground, poles and all, still stuck to it, and threw it about 20 feet behind where I'm sitting.
And flattened it.
Yeah, and flattened it, obviously. And so, you know how it is with insurance company. First thing they do is try to give you some sort of I call it a buyout offer. In other words, here's some cash, walk away, we're done. And, you know, I told them, I said, I don't want your cash, guys. I want to rebuild my shed. So that was a pretty arduous process. It took about 4 months because, you know, they try to give you some money, and I tell them, I don't want your check. You know, and the guy I had building the shed for me, he didn't need their money to build the shed. He's not one of those builders. He can build the complete house or shed or whatever he's building and never take a draw check. And long story short, It is pressure treated lumber, stripped with strips in between. And then I painted it soon after they built it. And it's been about 10 years, probably, close to
It was
it.
2013. Is when
2013?
the storm happened.
Okay, so it's been 10 years.
Yeah, because it also
They built
did
it
the
that
Jeep.
fall.
They also totaled the Jeep because that log went through the windshield and stuff.
Yeah. I used some Sherwin-Williams. I couldn't afford to buy a whole lot of paint at one time because it was so expensive, but I did tell them I want your most expensive exterior paint you got. And I would get it, this is 10 years ago, $60 a gallon then. And I'd paint
It's
3/4 of a
120
wall.
now, I'm sure.
And that paint has held up great. And it is IH red. I took out of a 2150 spray can, painted a paint stick, took it to Sherwin-Williams and got them to color match it into a gallon of paint. So the shed is actually IH red, and the white on top is the IH white. And it's, am I talking too much? It's turned out great.
And Sweet Pea, yes, I'll get you our little Jtwes pattern because we've got it on like the merchandise stuff. It's like a pretty blue one.
Stuff I can send Sweet Pea.
Yeah, like a pretty blue one background. Let me catch up here. Nick Blanton says we had a good show, about 100 tractors,
Woo.
about 25 pulling tractors, and ground about 250 pounds of grits.
Yeah, y'all seen from my video, I ground me some. I didn't grind grits, I had grits left over. And I did discover, guys, in that video, if I back off that grinder a little bit, I guess this is kind of one of those duh things, but hey, I never ground, so it didn't occur to me I'd get more grits than I would meal if I backed off of the grinder a little bit. So I think next time I do some, I'm going to back it off a little bit.
Jeff Strange is asking, what's the little houses by our drinks?
Jeff, the little houses by our drinks, and Cousin Scott will know exactly what they are, so don't say it, Scott. This is actually K326 tobacco seed. Matter of fact, I think it's got a little bit. Yeah, there's a few seeds stuck to the tape right there of tobacco seeds. So this is how your tobacco seeds would come in the 80s, 70s. I say 70s. I mean, I know it may have been something else. I remember Daddy getting them in the 80s. And so this is 326 brand variety. That's what I'm looking for. 326 tobacco seeds. So you take these and you mix them with some cornmeal or fertilizer or something that could be a carrier to broadcast it in the plant bed. When greenhouses started coming out, you would get the seeds in something else because they would be coated so they could run through a machine and get dropped in the greenhouse tray.
And Scott's asking, if you want, what part of Mexico are you from? You know what? I have no idea. I was actually born in Texas, so that's maybe my mom could answer that. I don't know what her family, if she knows the city that she's from, or her family is from.
We never did tell the warehouse store we was when that.
No,
Yeah,
we're not telling. No, we're not telling the
Scott,
warehouse.
tell her you want to hear the tobacco warehouse story.
No, we'll see. If 5 people will say it, then we'll say it. But
5 people's got to say they want to hear the tobacco warehouse story.
So, in the meantime, Kyle T says, or no, Jack Graham was who asked about the heater. He's asking the way it's built, wondering if it could be if it would be too open flame to use in a dusty wood shop.
Yes, Jack. It's a slap open flame. It's matter of fact, I just cut it off. I guess I'll run out of gas. It is. It's about 8 inches of open flame. Lena, will it come into the picture?
Yes, just scoot it over a little.
No, I mean, I was just gonna lean it.
Okay. Let me see. Hold on.
Is it in there? He'll see it in a second.
Because we're on a little delay. There you go. I know it'll be in now.
All right, so
okay.
it'll be in now.
Yeah, so as long as it's
This whole section here, Jack's an open flame.
Yeah.
And there's a cage around it.
But that cage isn't going to keep wood shop dust out of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put it in the wood shop, no.
Yeah. Let me see here. And Orber saying he knows what those seeds are.
That's right, Orber.
I'm sure he was dreading seeing them, maybe.
The boys found another little box of them over here that actually had a bunch of seeds in them, and I actually put them in my medicine. I have a medicine cabinet in my tractor shed because I found a medicine cabinet because when I was growing up, you didn't have a tractor shed unless you had a medicine cabinet in there nailed to the wall to put something in.
Mm-hmm. Did I ask you already? Kyle T asked, what are you planning to plant next year?
Kyle, we're going to do, we're going to do a big old field of Jimmy Red. I don't know how big at this point, but it's going to be over an acre.
Well, because everyone loves it.
Yeah.
So we need to be able to give some.
I got to figure out how to harvest it, though. And then we'll plant some Hastings. And then we'll do our regular garden, our sweet corn, and our garden out here with some sweet potatoes and such. But also, Sam, my buddy Sam, I call him Plow Day Sam because he's the one that owns the Plow Day field. He wants me to plant some sunflowers, and I think we're going to do something like sunflowers, spring wheat, sunflowers, spring wheat, sunflowers. But we're going to stagger the sunflower planting because he wants to use it. Sam has been building a wedding venue. So if you know anybody who wants to get married, he's been building a beautiful wedding venue.
Yeah, and it's looking so pretty, too.
It is so pretty back there. And he wants to be able to offer the brides to be able to come out and take some pictures. And I thought that the sunflowers backed up with some grain, like a little strip of wheat, and that wheat turns brown and the sunflowers are yellow. I thought the contrast would be nice. So we got to do that for him, too.
Bama Tractor saying, so when you get in a greenhouse, they got them on sale now.
Oh, I probably won't. I don't, other than my tomatoes and a few peppers, if I buy you some peppers.
Well, and I like to grow the watermelon and cantaloupe seed in the windowsill of the kitchen because the sun is always in the kitchen and we got a whole wall of windows. And so I'll start those seeds off. And that's a greenhouse in the kitchen.
Yeah, a greenhouse is, they're totally, totally nice. I remember in the corners of the greenhouse that Roger's dad had, Beeman, he would have little small, I call them mini bays, and he would float all kinds of seeds there because tobacco greenhouses were floating systems. You floated the tray on water.
Are they hydroponics?
No, they just, the tray floated on water.
Because Welch Farm mentioned hydroponics, think twice before you invest.
Yeah.
So that made me think.
No, I got a buddy at work, he was raising some, my buddy at work was raising some salads and stuff with that hydroponics. I think it's all water. It's like tubes and just all water.
Oh, yeah, I seen that too. Yeah. Allison is on. Hey, Allison.
Hey, Allison.
She says, hi, friends. We almost missed it. The time change got us all confused around here. Same with me.
Yeah, us too. It felt good this morning,
You would think doing it twice a year for as long as you've been,
around,
an adult, you would get used to it, but you don't. Philip Thompson's on.
Hey, Philip.
Philip says, does the guy who sent you the corn grinder screen, does he sell them? Was that Nick?
That would be a good question. Nick's on here. You could, he'll comment if he does not. I don't know if he does or not, to be honest. And I'm not trying to put Nick on the spot by no means.
It may have been just a little fun project he did for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Mom says, you look good, Joey.
Yeah.
Of course she's going to say that. Let's see. Brad Hagan says, John Deere man with red shed, next door neighbor, IH man. Hello from Illinois.
Hello. So he's got a neighbor, so John Deere?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he's John Deere.
Oh, he's a
next
John Deere
door
man.
is IH. So, Brad, thanks for watching, even though you're
John
Deere.
A lot of that whole tractor deal, a lot of that deal started, whatever your family started with, they not most times stay with it.
But it's the same thing with trucks.
Yeah.
Your dad had a Dodge, so you're a Dodge person.
Yeah. But with us, I guess the reason why I don't mind any tractor is because, Grandpa had a Mass Ferguson 65. Daddy had a Fortson Major. We had a Farmall. We had Massey's, and, so we had them all.
Yeah, Farmall Eric says, lost track of the days, almost missed the live.
That's okay, Farmer Eric. You're in here in time.
And Farm Boy 59 says, we didn't use greenhouse beds, we used plant beds.
Yeah, that's what these, well, I was talking about, you mixed them with some cornmeal and planted them in the plant beds.
Ugh. So it's definitely more than 5. I want to hear the stories.
Oh.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's why I'm going to quit counting at 10.
Was you behind or something?
Yeah, I'm behind. But John Briggs is on. Hey, John.
Hey,
He's
John.
from Roxborough. He says he enjoys all your videos.
Thank you, John.
And let's see. We'll catch up with the rest of the comments if we can after your story. So hurry up and tell it. Make it
I'll
quick.
tell the story. I'll tell it to cousin Scott because I know he might appreciate it. So when we were dating, right? Roger's dad, Beeman, he was raising the bike and stuff, and we always stopped by and see Beeman, talk to him and stuff. And he was just super, super busy. And we had just started dating. He was super busy doing something else, probably baling hay, knowing him. And he needed somebody to drive the dump truck, or it wasn't a dump truck, it had a big box bed on it. You could haul grain, tobacco, which is what was loaded up on it, to the market. So he asked me if I would take it to Stoneville over to the market, and that's what we did. And so here's Leno riding in an International, and that thing had the craziest, I'm going to call it 50 on the tree gear shift. It was on the column, but it was like an up and a down and another up and down. I don't remember what it was. I drove it. And so we took it over as an International Lodestar, probably, something like that. Cab over is what it was. It was a cab over dump truck. So here we go. We're rolling. And I think we had to wait in line a little bit to get in the market. You guys remember how that used to be. But we finally rolled in there. And you know how the older fellers would come to the tobacco market and just hang around all day around the table and talk. And so we come rolling in there, and Leno got out, and I told Leno, I said, Leno, I'm just going to go and tell you now, they think I'm dating the help.
That I worked on the farm.
And because they were sure staring, and
There's Amazon.
they stared a long time at us, but she took it with stride. It didn't bother her a bit. Matter of fact, I want to say you helped me get the cover off and stuff. So
Yeah.
that worked out real good.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. He'll be all right.
Let's see. Bullard Farm says we had a medicine cabinet in both our old farrowing houses. We've got a medicine cabinet.
Yeah,
You
I was
can't
just
have a
saying.
tractor shed
Yeah, I
without
was just
one.
saying tractor sheds. At least there was around where I lived when I was young. All the tractor sheds had a little medicine cabinet, and that's where you kept little small stuff at. And half the time when you opened the door, it would fall out. We have an Amazon delivery. I warned y'all guys. Let's see where we're at
I'll
here.
take it. Thank you.
Guys, we're gonna let her get back because she keeps up where she was. Scott said, you pay for the low boy, I'll harvest it for you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I know what Scott's talking about. You know what, Scott? Man, I'd do that. I got some buddies that got low boys.
Okay.
I wouldn't have to pay for it. I think of Mr. Scott, where we're at. Scott said, you pay for the low boy, I'll harvest it for you. I was thinking of Mike Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mike Lewis got a low boy.
I think we had to use it one time for something.
No, we ain't never used it. He hauls his bulldozers and track hose on it.
Okay. Yeah, and someone was asking what part of Texas I'm from, but I think Mom answered it. Yeah, so her dad was from Spain and moved to Taylor, Texas, and Mom's family came from ? And moved to Corpus Christi, Texas. And yeah, because my grandfather had beautiful green eyes from being a Spaniard. You know, he was just so beautiful. Let me see. Jack Graham says, thanks. I used the dish style that fits on top of the propane container. Not had a problem with them so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the best for a, wood shop.
I thought about those ones that go up high and then cast back downwards. That would probably be better for us, honestly, than what I got. And I really probably should have got that because when it gets cold in the winter, that would cast down on me and Leno both. And plus I could put it in the shot and it wouldn't look bad because it'd be tall.
Tim Peters says awesome dove field.
Oh yeah, yeah, Tim. You're right. And the funny thing is, I probably would bush hog it maybe a month before plow day and go ahead and get it ready to plow again. So yeah, it would be.
Scott says my ex was from the Valley in Texas. So Scott's exes are from Texas.
Scott's exes are from Texas. He probably liked that song.
And Nick says for the person who asked about the screen to get with you and give you, he said give them Nick's number.
Okay.
Nick said give him his number.
Okay.
Brad Hagan says own 2 older Power Stroke Fords International motors, of course.
He owned 2
Power Stroke Fords.
Yeah.
Joey Neal says I remember those tobacco warehouses. How many people remember hand-tied tobacco? I'm sure you hand-tied.
I've done it. I didn't have to do it. I did it for the learning experience. When we bought this, I say we, when Daddy bought this farm here, the pack house had 2 tying horses, and I got Daddy to show me how to use them, and wrap the leaf and throw it over, wrap it, throw it over, wrap it, throw it over. Mm-hmm. But golly, the way you hand tied that, when a Tie Master 50 came out, you must have really thought you was Cadillacing, because that Tie Master 50 would just sit there and sew it all up, and when you went to strip the stick, strip it off, if you caught the knot right and got it in the right spot, you just stripped it right on out, versus untying, and untying.
And Thomas Bledsoe's on. I don't know if I said hello to him.
Hey, Thomas.
He's from Central Texas.
Central Texas.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that's kind of where Anson was. If Mom's on, she could say if Anson was Central. I think it was Central Texas.
There's a guy in Texas got a YouTube channel, Old Aaron or something like that, and he's got a nice super seeder he uses to cultivate corn with and plow corn.
And Janice is on, Janice Dalton.
Hey, Janice.
Hey, Janice. Says we got a corn picker.
That's right, Janice got a corn picker. Well, Scott's got a big old combine. I like a corn picker that you see on Gearock Farms, but unfortunately I don't have the tractor for it to mount up to, or the corn picker to put on it.
And what did you say? How do you say G. Wayne?
It's Gurney.
Gurney, that's right.
Not G. Wayne, it's Gurney.
I knew it was something special to that name. He says, I remember going to the market in Whiteville and we would get a bag of boiled peanuts for $10.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there was anything special other than the check that I waited for in the office.
Yeah.
After the sale went through. They had these cards and they had a guy following the buyers, and he was writing down the price of every pile right behind them. He had this big old flip folder, and the guy we had doing it was named Frank. I don't remember Frank's last name, but I just remember it was Frank. Mm-hmm. And golly, that was 1980 something. But anyway, I remember going to the office waiting for that check to get printed up.
Mm-hmm, I'm sure. Yeah, Mom says Anson is in Central Texas.
Oh, okay.
And I thought so, but I wasn't really sure. But yeah, there's other people saying they remember hand tying.
Yeah.
Scott says there's a 1-row for sale near me.
A 1-row corn picker? Yeah, Roger's actually got one. We just need to do some work to it. He's got a, I guess it was called New Ideal. Maybe it's just Ideal. I'm not sure, guys. Don't quote me on that. Nice looking corn picker. We just need to do some work on it. But he's got one.
Johnny Etchison said he made a tobacco horse to hang Christmas stockings on. He calls it a stocking horse.
Stocking horse.
Yeah. I might need something like that for those blankets. You know how we got like those, they're not really small blankets, but they're not big blankets, like a quilt just for the living room, for when we're watching TV.
I wish I still had that tobacco horse, because, I mean, it was made, it had these little V's on it like this to hold the stick, and then it had a place for the string to sit on. And, you know, it was a crude, most of them were crude built, not fancy, but they just really did the job well. And, you know, leave it outside, let it rot.
Yeah, Will says, if anyone has a Super C to give away, let me know. LOL. And Janice says you can help Roger and her get it ready maybe for one of your shows, the corn picker.
No, it won't be a show. We got to get it ready to use it.
No, like record it.
Oh,
getting it ready.
I see what she's saying.
Yeah.
I thought she meant like to do a tractor.
No.
Like the plow day.
Mm-hmm. And Timbo says he missed the smell of Tobacco Warehouse.
Yeah, I do too. They did smell good, Timbo. Hey,
well, and the tobacco barns like Gary's.
Yeah.
When they were cranked up for a while, it did smell good in there.
Oh yeah. Well, they smelt the best when you was getting them in order. I personally thought first priming smelt the best to me. I know they were dusty, and you'd have to just work in it. If you've never sneezed a good first priming sneeze, you don't know what you're missing because your nose get to burning.
Oh yeah, I wasn't in it that much.
But it was a good sneeze. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
All that dust on it.
Donovan is on from Louisiana.
Hey Donna.
Donovan.
Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan. Oh. Fontenot. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong because it's
okay.
If it's Louisiana, it may be like French, and I'm saying it wrong, like Fontenot, maybe.
Fontenot.
Maybe. Scott says, Will didn't know you have a Super C.
Will didn't know I had a Super C.
Yeah.
Scott trying to stir up trouble.
I know. He's like, you've been hiding it.
No, Will knows about everything I got.
John Briggs says he loves the tobacco seed boxes. Dad would give the boxes to my brother and me. Wish I still had them.
Yeah, Lino just mentioned the fellow's name. Good buddy of mine, Gary. Gary's wife gave this to me, and they were down in his shop, and she gave them to me, and a couple of little things, and it was real nice to have, and so appreciative of that. But yeah, it's a good old stick barn, and I'm like you. I had them when I was little, and I'm sure I even set them up, and these were my barns when I was playing with my tractors.
Oh yeah, they're perfect.
Oh, they actually? Have you actually seen they have logs in them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's like quite a bit of detail just to hold seeds.
Yeah.
But that's not done anymore. Let's see. Yeah, Roger says new idea. And Janice,
new idea.
Janice
okay.
says, what's Roger's new idea?
What Roger's saying is the corn picker's brand is new ideal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I would have thought the same thing, Janice. Okay, so that's the name of it is new idea?
New ideal, yeah.
Okay. Cajun Homestead says, y'all are in foreign language to me, talking foreign language. I know nothing about tobacco harvesting and raising. Not much tobacco grown down here in southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, Cajun, that's the reason why there's so many 140s in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Some in Tennessee and Kentucky, not as much as it was North Carolina. And some in Virginia, especially around what I'm going to call Danville, Virginia, and probably where Orville's at and places like that.
I'm trying to see. I'm sure I missed some, but
You missed everything? Mm-hmm. You gave me that thing, I was lost. I was like, Lino, come back, please.
Well, and then plus you have to use your glasses to see it.
But I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I've about decided, guys, I don't think I could ever do a live again by myself without Lino.
Well, and I did miss someone, Mel's Place. I didn't mention them.
Oh,
They're
hey,
on.
Mel's Place. Mel's Place, he's the one that made me the sticks, the fuel sticks.
Oh, okay. He says Mom and Dad did, but by my time we were running bulk barns. Looping horses are still in the pack house.
I borrowed some bulk barns, but we never owned any. We used stick barns to the last bit.
Janice says we still have to look for our popcorn.
Oh, yeah, she wants some popcorn.
Okay.
Seed.
And Timbo says, I don't miss the tobacco worms when picking up out of the field.
Well, probably ought not tell this, but the 100 farmall that is down at my grandpa's house, my uncle owns it. I used to take them tobacco worms and have the tractor down on a low idle and take them and put them down the exhaust and then gag the gas and watch it shoot the worm back out of the exhaust.
See, that's why you don't leave boys alone.
Just something,
yeah, that's why boys are a problem sometimes.
But it would, though. She'd shoot it straight back out. That worm would be like...
And that just kind of reminds me of Elliot, where I washed that frog in his pocket.
Yeah.
Because Elliot was always getting frogs, and they were sticking them in his pockets. And then I was back there getting the clothes out of the washer, and there was a frog stuck up against the cylinder, dead, of course. And I was like, how would a frog get back here? And it was like, oh no, I had that in my pocket, Mom. And then he tried to make me feel bad for washing it. So I guess I would just feel their pockets, and if I didn't feel metal, because he would metal detect too. CTC Homestead is on.
CT what?
CTC.
CTC Homestead.
Mm-hmm. And Orber says 140 in Cubs, which is for tobacco farming.
Yeah.
Farm Boy 59 says, at least I'm not the only one who put a tobacco worm in the exhaust pipe.
Well, I probably shouldn't.
See, I tell you, boys.
I probably shouldn't have told that, but I mean, I did.
I'm sure you'll have a lot in common.
The ducks loved them things, man. If you had chickens or ducks around you when you were stringing it up, and you'd be getting it off the trailer and putting it on the tire, and you get a worm and you throw it out there to them chickens, they would fight for them worms, boy.
Yeah, and Timbo says he thinks you're brothers.
Probably, yeah.
Uh-huh. And Tommy says he's got one of these boxes.
Uh-huh.
Tommy Norwood says he's got one of these boxes, and it's got 319 tobacco seeds still in it.
300. How does he know it's 319?
I guess he counted them.
You can't count them things. Them things, when Jesus was talking, every time I read in the Bible when Jesus talks about the faith of a grain of a mustard seed, I don't know that I've seen a mustard seed, may have, but I think of those tobacco seeds because I know how tiny they are.
Well, obviously.
Ain't no way he counted them.
Obviously, he counted them.
You see that black speck?
Yeah.
That's one seed.
Okay,
And
yeah.
he said it was 319.
Well, you know what? Maybe that's his guesstimation. Good way to, I mean, at least he's confident in it. He stands behind it. Mom said, poor worm. Jeffrey says...
They survived.
They just went for a ride,
yeah,
a wild
it was just
ride.
like surfing in the air is all it was.
Jeffrey Strange says, y'all still got many old flu cure barns left up that way.
Not many, Jeffrey. They are dying by the day. Skeletons, mostly, is what you see nowadays, is just skeletons of them.
Oh, okay.
Roger's got 2.
Look, 319 was the name of the tobacco seed.
Oh, 319.
319 tobacco seed.
Yeah, but this is 326. So.
Okay, so his was 319.
Right,
that makes okay. Yeah, because you could say, well, I have 326 in here.
Roger,
Sorry.
Roger, if you're on here, what was that non-flowering tobacco? What was the name of it?
Yeah, Roger says 319 is a variety. Well, you guys got me reading these comments. You know I don't know varieties of tobacco seeds. Jamie Lawson's on.
Hey, Jamie.
He says, hey, Jtwes, finally made on before end of the live.
That's right.
He bought that cub, may just use it for mowing. Don't think it'll have enough power to work the garden spot.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, they're good cultivating, though. They really are good cultivating. Because you can really slow that cub down a lot slower than I can slow that 140 down.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
what?
Says her. He's probably cheating him. Look at a worm rocket. You know, Megan, like what women are worrying. Because all of y'all grown men are talking about doing it.
A worm rocket?
Yeah.
I never heard it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said, boys.
Well, if you've seen the worm, he's got a horn that sticks up on his tail like that.
I've seen a picture of one, not in real life.
And he sits there, and they can get literally bigger than my finger right there.
I thought the ones in the corn were bad.
And they had like 10 rows of feet.
When I shucked
the pincher a mouth that did this.
When I shucked the corn, I chopped that the tip off to make sure that if there's any worm in there, it's not going to get on my hand.
Compared to a tobacco worm.
Well, I don't like that one. Let me see. Roger says, I think it was NC 72.
That's it. It's NC something. That's it, Roger.
Farm Boy 59 says non-flowering, I think, was 327.
Who said worm rocket?
Hay, the one who goes by Hay. But that's funny the way they said it. Like her, what she's thinking, he's probably cheating. And him, he's like, look at that worm rocket.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's my laugh of the night right there. Worm rocket. I didn't realize I was a young Elon Musk.
Right, everyone's passing that knowledge on generation to generation.
You hear, Lena?
What?
I said I was a young Elon Musk. Watching rockets.
It's got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. I'm gonna start building rockets, guys.
Mark Young says, my grandpa and all his neighbors raised tobacco crops with cubs back in the 50s.
Yeah, I had a neighbor, gosh, bless his heart, the Barnwells, and they lived just right up the road from me. I'd walk up there just get a Reese cup, but Albert had a with a hand lift and 2 cubs, and that man, boy, he raised some of the best beautiful gardens you ever seen in your life with them things.
More Farmalls is on.
Hey, more Farmalls.
Tobacco is the hardest work I've ever did. I used to use a wet toothpick to pick the seed up and place them on the tray. Very tiny seed.
Oh, yes, very.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I can't imagine doing that. Brad Hagen's on. He says, which we already said hey to Brad. 62,000 bushels of corn in 8 hours. 2 bushels per second times 9. John Deere combine.
Good Lord.
That's a lot of corn.
Yeah. That's putting it through there.
And Gurney's talked about all the other things he used to do with the worm. Just boy things, like I was saying earlier.
Probably don't want to know.
Yeah, and Farm Boy 59 says, I still have 2 tobacco barns, 1 plank and 1 walk-in.
Yeah. The log ones are the ones you see falling down quite a bit now, unless somebody's put a roof on them. You know how it goes, guys. Once the roof goes, the rest of it's going to go with it. But if somebody's put a roof on them and maybe daubed them up a little bit, put a better foundation under them. But other than that, yeah, they're going.
Cajun Homestead says my AV would have been good for tobacco farming.
His what?
AV. Maybe he means AC. Does he have an Alice Chandler's?
Oh, he may be talking about a AV. I can't remember it. Maybe talking about a high crop or something.
The Moore's Outdoors is on. Did we already say hey to them?
Yes. No. Moore's Outdoors. No.
Okay.
Moore's Farmall. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys.
He says I inquired about a cub the other day. Maybe the deal will work out. LOL. I'll have to find a plow for it to be ready for plow day.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So he'll have a new addition for next year.
Yeah. I don't think he brought any tractors this year.
Bullard Farms is on. I haven't seen them.
Yep. Bullard Farm.
Yeah. And AV is high crop.
Yeah. I thought that's what you were saying.
High crop formal. The model is A Vegeta.
What did I call a high crop the other day, Lena?
I don't know, but it was funny. It was funny. I can't remember.
God, what was it? I said that's a high crop version.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't remember what it was, but it was funny because it was totally not related to it.
It wasn't a tractor, guys. It was something totally different than a tractor, but I called it. That's the high crop version.
Model A vegetable is the AV.
Okay.
Farm Boy says the walk-in was a regular barn, but we put a foundation and made it in a walk-in.
Oh, wow.
So that's good.
And of course, up in the Kentucky way and the western North Carolina mountains, you would have stick barns that had gaps between the poles this big because it was all flue-cured. Not flue-cured, air-cured burley tobacco. Mm-hmm. And burley tobacco, you pick it, hang the whole stalk up at one time, and it dries in the air and blah, blah, blah. But I guess it's good for cigars, chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
You need a certain amount of burley tobacco for the blend, is what it was. And Gary used to run the burley market.
Okay. Scott Small Farming says my last tobacco farm is my shop.
His tobacco farm or barn? Probably barn.
Barn.
That's right, Scott. I think I remember that now.
Which you turned your corn crib into a tool shed.
Yeah, my corn crib's where I keep my hand tools mostly. I got some shelves in there and toolboxes and stuff. And I was looking at it the other day and I was thinking, man, I need that corn crib back.
And I don't know if I should ask. Who knows what a squirrel tier is?
A squirrel tier?
Tier, like a tier.
He's probably talking about the top of the barn. Since we're on the subject of stick barns, he's probably talking about the middle poles. Lawrence called them something else. We were talking about some stick barns, and Lawrence called them, I forgot what he called them.
Okay. Orber says all fluke cured here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how. I know when Gary went to the Burley market, he went to Kentucky. So evidently Kentucky was pretty big for it.
James Davis is on.
Hey, James.
Says, sorry I'm late. Good to be here.
That's good to have you.
Yeah, and Timbo says it's the top of the barn.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that ain't what Lawrence called them. I forgot what he called
Says
them.
the center poles in the very top.
I think Lawrence called them the crow roost.
Yeah, center in the very top.
Yeah. We were talking about it. He said we were talking about the poles, and he said the crow roost poles, or the chicken roost, or something roost, chicken or crow.
Janice says if you do sunflowers, I recommend use the tall ones.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to get too tall, Janice, because these ladies want to take pictures in them.
Well, not these ladies. We know what kind of ladies.
So, but they want to take pictures in them.
Yeah, everybody wants to take pictures. And, all about pictures. Yeah, they were just saying the center poles in the very top. Yeah, that was for the,
Crow roost poles.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be able to do sunflowers and wheat pictures next door at Sam's.
Well, that's what Janice was talking about, planting
at Sam's?
tall, yeah.
Okay.
But I think they probably want something like that.
I don't think so.
I think you're going to want real tall
you want
ones.
the tall ones. I don't know. You need to ask to make sure what she wants. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll make no difference. Hopefully we'll have the Super A going strong by then, and we can just let Sammy cultivate it, and I won't have to worry about it.
Buller Farm says buy a bag of black oil sunflower bird seed from Tractor Supply. It's cheap and it grows good.
Yeah, I probably will. I did notice there was some seed I think me and Roger used one time. It had a lot of hole in it. Come real close to stopping up the planter. It didn't, but I noticed when I took the plate out, there was a lot of hole up under that plate. Not hole, it was sticks. Sunflowers sticks. I guess that's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, Farm Boy says, around here we found it to be where Charlie the black snake lived.
Well, yeah. I don't think I did that but one time. The only thing that ever kind of scared me one time is one of my poles started rolling under my feet and my legs was going further and further apart. But if anybody's ever stood on those poles, you can just kind of shift your weight and go to the other side of the room.
James says, we had Blake's in the top of our barn.
Blake's? Yeah.
And Robert Marino's on. I don't think we've said hey to him.
Hey, Robert.
Says, when talking about tobacco farming, any pictures to show in the future live?
Probably not. I wished I knew how to do.
Like to pop it up in the live?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
That
know.
sounds too technically
You can do that with the right live equipment and the fancy stuff. But I don't have many pictures of.
Because that's back in the 80s. Not everybody had a handy camera like we do now. In your pocket. Or 80s and 90s and even early 2000s.
Cell phones has been out so long. I was just telling the guy at church the other night that his boy was with him, and I told him, I said, man, I got a picture of Will on my phone at that age, and it just seems like it was yesterday because the picture was taken with an iPhone
in
2007.
Yeah, or something like that.
So, it just, golly.
Yeah. Well, It's 9:04.
9:04?
Yes.
Man, I want
Time
to talk about
flies.
rocket worms.
No. We've had enough rocket worm.
I wanted to remember what the A...
No, it's worm rocket.
Worm rocket.
It's...
Allison?
No shirt that says rocket worm on it or worm rocket.
Jtwes worm rocket. And have a picture of a debacle worm going around in
like
circles.
With little lines showing it in movement, you know?
Yeah.
No.
Guys, speaking of that, please, Christmas coming up. If y'all any hats or t-shirts, mugs, case knives, please look in the description. You'll see farm merch bin.
Nikki says we have to make a shirt.
for our merchandise. And again, I've said this, and I mean it with the bottom of my heart. It's not so much about me selling it. That's fine. That's great. I just would love to support Allison and Nikki and their venture of trying to get a...
Hey, everyone's saying they'll buy a worm rocket shirt. So I'm going to hold you guys to it.
All right, yeah, guys.
If they make one, you better buy one.
If Allison comes up with one, y'all please get one from her. And like I said, not from me. I want you to do it for her. She's a wonderful friend of ours, and I just want to see her grow and grow and grow.
Yeah, because, they're saying, Hay says all it needs is a parachute.
Yeah.
The worm rocket.
Yeah, we got to have somehow a picture of a tractor and an exhaust muffler and a worm
it could just be the very top of the tractor.
Yeah,
and
just
then
something
it's
it's coming out of a muffler.
Mm-hmm. And Cajun Homestead, thank you for listening to all the tobacco talk. I know
Yes.
that's not your crop down there, but we enjoy having everyone from all different types of farming.
Yes.
Or just different lives, different places you live. We just enjoy hearing all of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know some of the guys. Poor Jack out in Washington State. I mean, I don't.
I know. Jack's like, these crazy
thinking,
people.
Man, it's time to eat dinner.
These East Coast people are something else. But,
there's a guy on YouTube that always makes fun of East Coast men. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to tell him one day, I wanted to say, well, it took a nice, hearty East Coast man to discover the West. So don't ever forget that.
Yeah,
so everybody that lives in the West came from the East Coast.
Yeah, somebody had to come from there to get it. So, all right.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a wonderful day and a weekend.
Good night.
Look forward to another video soon, hopefully. And come back next Monday night.
Yeah, everybody come back next Monday.
God bless you. We'll see you.
Bye. Bye, John.